can you give me some examples of negative test cases of the login functionality of the page? Maybe just, yeah, 1 or 2 examples.
Yeah, sure. Negative test case we write. I mean, there is no such rule for negative test case. Writing the negative test cases, we can go in the opposite direction, right? So if the requirement says the username allows only 8 to 20 characters, so we can randomly put alphanumeric type. We can randomly, if the password requires to be filled in like alphanumeric password, it requires 8 to 20 characters. We can put like 100 characters randomly. So that is negative testing. I mean, it doesn't follow any rule. We just have to randomly.
Right. Yes. So basically, you know, anything. So what your positive scenario asks you to do, apart from that, you figure out the key areas or key inputs that might break the system or that might not be handled properly, like you mentioned, alphanumeric, special characters, right? If it is an input field. So you try to perform your test cases with that. So absolutely correct. Have you done any sort of negative testing in the real application? I mean, do you
yes.
Like Facebook application or any application, did you try like learning software testing? Many people think that you need to be in software industry to learn it, right? But it's an art that you can learn just by following the videos from the industry experts. You will see a lot of YouTube videos there, and by just using the applications that you use day to day and try to write the test cases for that, because in the industry you will do similar sort of things, right? So domain might change, but the concepts of testing still remain same everywhere. So that's because the answer that you have provided looks like you have done some sort of testing, some applications that you have used, the combinations that you have specified around negative testing basically shows that you have done some sort of work there. Yeah. Anyways, what are some of the configurations to consider when you are testing the web application? So like browser, OS, what sort of configurations you generally consider?
Okay, so in terms of configuration, like we have to understand in what environment we're working, where we are working, like the OS, if it is Linux or if it is Mac OS or it is Windows. So we have different methodologies for each environment, right? So then comes the network, right? Web-based application requires internet connection, and another thing like if it is, I mean, so I'm actually imagining. So
yeah, absolutely fine. Yeah, just think about it. I mean, see, web application. Okay, before you answer this, can you explain or can you give me some of the examples that you daily use which are web applications?
Yes, I use Google Chrome, like Google Chrome. I use IDM to download things, and I Internet Download Manager, and I use like a lot of application I use. I mean, to play videos, and like what else?
So
lot of application we use generally.
Yeah, so your Chrome in itself is not a web application. Okay, so Chrome is a browser. Okay, which is on your machine. When we say web application, is an application that you can access over the internet on the browser, right? So Facebook, Amazon, Flipkart, Instagram, you know, all of these social media websites you will be using, you know, mostly every day. LinkedIn, all these are web applications. So when you say, for example, you are testing Facebook, say, for example, you are testing, what configurations you would think of in terms of operating systems and browser when you test?
So I personally use Windows operating system, and I prefer Google Chrome over any other browser. So
usually that's one combination of it, right? Windows with Chrome, but I might be using Mac, and Mac comes with Safari, right? So that's another configuration for testing web application. Windows with Firefox, Windows with you know Opera, Windows with
Microsoft
and
Edge.
other browser, Edge, and Linux with the browser. So basically, and then these applications work on mobile as well. So you can launch Facebook on the mobile browser, mobile OS, and the browser as well. So Android, iOS. So there is numerous possibility. So wherein you can test these web applications. So when somebody asks about the browser and OS combinations, so basically this list usually comes from the requirements. Okay, so it won't be something which is random that will come to you as a tester. When there is a, say for example, bank that is building an application, so they will specify that as this particular application needs to work on these sort of combinations. So it should work on Windows, Mac OS with the combination of this browser. And you would have also noticed that there are many cross-browser testing companies and platforms available now, right? So when you write a Selenium script, you can run it in different combination of browser and OS combinations over the internet. So all these things, are very important when you are testing any of the web application. So just read a little bit around that. Web application, what exactly web application is, you will learn a lot around that. And then in terms of testing, how you will approach testing to that. Okay, all right. What is the difference between quality assurance and quality control? So QA and QC, have you heard those words? And what is the difference? Just 2-3 points.
I mean, quality assurance, like we make sure the quality of the product and manually, and quality control, I think kind of we write scripts to automate something, like automate related to automation engineering, something like that.
Okay, so no, this is not correct. So quality assurance and control go hand in hand. Now, the very basic difference, I'll let you know that quality assurance is more of a verification part. So you would have seen the V model, right? So verification and validation. So verification is without executing the software, you verify. So it's more of a process thing. So you go through, review the documents, you ensure that requirements doesn't have any gap, design is all good. As a team, you review. Okay, but when it comes to quality control, it is more of a validation when you execute the software and test it actually. So when you work as a software tester over the period of time, so even like initially you will start more of a validation sort of a person who will do the testing as such, but as you grow in your career, it will be a mix of, you will be doing the QA and QC together. So you'll be suggesting the process ideas, how to prevent defects, and then along with that, how to find defects or validate the software as well, right? So read a little bit, because this is very common question, and you will find a lot of content over the internet on this. Okay, and V model you would already know, but same V model, they might ask you something differently. Okay, but that's absolutely fine. Do not get anything like, if you're not able to answer one or two questions, no, it's absolutely fine. Okay, even in the real interviews, like people with 20-30 years IT experience, they are not able to answer questions. So no one knows everything, so that's absolutely fine, right? So it's absolutely fine not to know things, right? So yeah.